Hi, this is Vanessa Joy with Shutter Mag, and I thought I'd just give you a quick look at Capture 1 version 20 just to, I don't know, maybe you've never seen it before. If you have read the article that I wrote this month, February's edition of Shutter Mag 2020, hey, I don't know when you're watching this. I went through a lot of the reasons why you might consider switching from from Lightroom to Capture 1. I personally did only 6 months ago. All right, let me get into it. First of all, your import is pretty easy. You're just having a few vocabulary changes. So we've got new catalog and new session. I always just use new session, but that's my workflow. You can name it wherever you want. You save it wherever you want. Typical stuff like that. I already have this one session in here. This is actually the session from the styled shoot that I did for the 1DX Mark III, the Canon 1DX Mark III video. Ooh, which now it's announced. I'm a Canon Explorer of Light. Anyway, you can check out that video on my YouTube if you'd like. Just search Vanessa Joy and you'll find it youtube.com/Vanessa Joy. Anyway, so looking right here at the different views, it's similar to Lightroom, and I actually do have it custom set up so that my tools are on the right-hand side. But you've got your basic controls, you know, making your thumbnails smaller. I have different pictures selected here, and here's a very interesting thing that you can do in Capture 1. I can hover over any of these pictures and zoom it in. I'm just scrolling with my mouse button here. Zoom it in and look at it. Maybe, you know, you just wanted a quick comparison, you know, which one is sharper here, right? So you just kind of put them both up in there. Just a cool feature that you don't have in Lightroom. All right, let me just get into one of these photos. Let's just do this one. Oh, you can do it by double clicking also. All right, let's get into this photo. I'm just gonna pull that down so I got a little more room to work with. Now, the options that you have, the tools rather that you have, you can set that up in a custom workspace. So this is my custom workspace designated by heart. And these are the tools that I use mostly. You've got your color editor. This looks like the HSL in Lightroom, same kind of thing, but you also have advanced different things you can do, as well as unifying her skin tone. Very cool. I'll have a video on that on my YouTube also. All right, and exposure, that all looks the same. Your white balance is pretty much the same. I'm just gonna kind of go through a little bit. You've got levels in here, which is pretty cool. You don't have levels in Lightroom. You do have curves, but not levels. And of course, we do have curves down here as well, too, as well. I always say as well. All right, so now this is one of the big differences for me, the high dynamic range. You have all these controls in Lightroom. However, I find them to be much more powerful and less image degrading in Capture 1. And let me show you that. This is a good one for, actually, let's move to this photo here. This is a better one to show off the highlight. Actually, I'm just gonna double click. This is where the highlights were in this photo. And watch how I can drag them all the way down, still maintaining detail and not making the skin go muddy. The skin's going darker because there is some highlight on the skin, but it doesn't have that muddiness effect. Let me go, I think that was what, set at 17. Let me go to another photo, probably this one. Yeah. So let's go down a little bit more, and you can just see it's slightly more powerful. It's the same way in the shadows. So if I go to this photo here, this is where the shadows were, but watch how I bring it all the way up. All right, I would never do this to my photo, but look at all that detail. If I had done the same thing in Lightroom, it would not have brought it up in quite the same way. So just different. Oh, by the way, for the record, I'm working with JPEGs here, not RAWs, because I couldn't work with RAWs in the in this because these are JPEGs right out of a brand new camera. So all that you just saw, JPEG, my friend. So see how powerful it is? Pretty crazy. All right. A couple of the other things that are different that I just want to show you is the layers panel. So you can add up to 16 different layers. Now you can't export them with the layers on it, but it just gives you a lot more control when you're trying to localize control, maybe select different areas. You can use a mask in here as well. The rest of the stuff is pretty much the same that you would expect to see. You've got your curves, black and white adjustments, clarity, noise reduction, sharpening, blah, blah, blah. This is all normal. However, the noise reduction is absolutely phenomenal. I don't have a high ISO one here. I don't believe. What was this? This is 400. All right, that's not a high ISO. So I can't show you the noise reduction here, but there are lots of places where you can look. Just Google Google or YouTube Capture One version 20. Maybe even add noise reduction and check out on YouTube. You can definitely see the difference. That it's a bit more powerful, in my opinion, not only in reducing the noise in photos, but also in maintaining the color in the photos. Because that's one of those things when we shoot at higher ISOs, that's when we notice a bit of the color loss or color shift. So this saves our butts. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Other than that, you just learn how to process your photos, export them, they call it process, and go from there. One of the other weird things I have found is that when I export something out of Capture One, it comes out as a slightly larger file than if I get it out of Lightroom. I don't know why. I don't know if that's crazy me or I'm doing some weird settings, but that's what I found. Anyway, I hope this is a good look for you for Capture One. Again, this is version 20. Give it a try. I don't know. I think you'll like it. Try it with some raw photos. Pretty powerful, even with JPEGs. I'm Vanessa Joy. You can find me at Vanessa Joy pretty much anywhere. I'll see you next month.